Welcome to my channel Gauri Nyamani. Shantam Padmasanastham Shashidram Muktam Panchavaktam Trinetram Shulam Vajram Khadgam Parshum Bhaidam Dakshinange Bhantam Nagam Payasam Jahantam Dambuk Sahitam Cham Kusham Mahavagi Nana Lankara Diktam Spatigamanivam Paratisham Namami. In this video, I want to talk on the topics which are currently so fast changing. I don't know which one to hold on, which one to leave, but they are relevant with respect to the time factor that is being the events that are occurring so fast. Is a fast footwork is being done on the political field and economic field also. Particularly, I will be amplifying the economic aspect of it, and I will be talking about it. And before that, Israel's invasion of Gaza Strip and vacating the people, demanding the vacation of Gaza, all that. Also, in the small railway township of Kharagpur, where we lived in my childhood, there was only one and only one family, Jew family, and the names were as usual: Benjamin, elder son David, younger son Isaac, and incidentally the eldest daughter's name was Ramu. That was the incident. In 1955, they had a guest, a 70-year-old lady in their family, and all she used to do from the morning was she used to hold a tin of cigarettes, 555 State Express cigarette in the left hand, and the right hand will be smoking. Right in the first morning, she will light one cigarette from the lighter with the lighter. Then afterwards, only from cigarette to cigarette, no more lighter usage. She will be whole day she will be smoking. We had that. They had that yes lady at between 70s and 80s. That level of smoking we had never seen. And being the only Jew family in Kharagpur, whenever this character actor from Bombay used to go to Calcutta, from Bombay to Calcutta, he would drop at Kharagpur and stay 1 or 2 days in their house, and then proceed to Calcutta for Calcutta shootings. And with respect to this Netanyahu latest bombing and too much of bombing at Gaza Strip, asking for a release of the hostages. By the time I was making this video, they already released some hostages, and it did take some effect, and it happened. And recently, one Arab studied in America, he was also discussing the same topic. They should Palestine should be liberated. But the theme was, he also said, Palestine should be liberated from Hamas. That is the point. Palestine should be liberated from Hamas. Palestine was created just like Israel was created. I remember Yasser Arafat coming here in India also, come to India also with a gun in the left hand, gun and left, two leaves in the left hand, right hand one gun. He used to demand and India was supporting the creation of state of Palestine. But this making of Israel as well as making of Palestine, both they made in such places. To this day, from the day of their making, to this day, they never had peace. With the rest of the world, so much space is available, whether it is South America or Australia and North America itself, so many places are available. Why they create in this very place? Whether they were asking for this to be created there, that aspect of history I don't know. But from the day they are incorporated or they have been made as sovereign nations, all surrounding nations, they fight with the surrounding nations. They are always in turmoil, and fighting is ever going on, and they keep on fighting because of, they say they take it to a truce period only to enhance their corresponding weaponry. Whenever there is a truce, both the parties increase their weapons in the truce period. That's what happens, and after the truce is broken, again the story is as usual. Fighting is going on, and previously Israel was under the umbrella of America. When politicians were the presidents, a non-politician came and all their calculation, Israel's calculation went to dogs, because if it was a normal cricketing Nixon and Kissinger combination, the moment Israel is attacked by Iran, they would immediately take sides and start firing. This Donald Trump did not do. He was just watching or doing some other, talking about Nobel Peace Prize, etc. He did not do what a normal politician does, because he is not a politician. A businessman landed in the president's post, and that's what happened. And whatever Netanyahu was doing with respect to new calculations about political strategies, political scientists people know better about this than normal people like us. all political calculations. They make on strategies about the ism prevailing there. But when the normal politician is not a president, an unusual businessman is president, all the calculations went haywire, and incidents are taking place as they have been watching. In this is the same with respect to Pakistan's nuclear weaponry. Last video I had made in Hindi that about Pakistan railway minister claiming all the nuclear weapons are targeted against big cities of India, and they are all targeted and against India. That was targeted against the big cities of India, and after his speech and latest last week, I came to know Saudi Arabia and Pakistan went into a mutual defense agreement that if anybody is attacking Saudi, Pakistan will protect, and Pakistan, if anybody attacks, Saudi will protect. When Saudi is, Pakistan is having nuclear weapons, why more this protection from Saudi? I don't understand. But anyway, the object was to sell to these nuclear weaponry to Saudi. It seems they sold it, and if China knew that they were going to sell the arms, they would never have helped in this nuclear process. This is where China got scuttled. Nobody expected Pakistan to go and but again there is a retraction. It seems they brought back all the nuclear weaponry. There is a latest one. This was very fast. Footwork is going on political field everywhere. If the weaponry has come back, and with respect to in every sector, Pakistan wants to compete with us. This competition they should show in other sector. When India floated rupee, Manmohan Singh floated the rupee in the international market. They should have done their currency. Then they would have known what difference, what is the difference, potential values difference between what is the potential difference between India and Pakistan. That they don't do. They keep quiet that time. And with respect to Pakistan's political strategies, what is happening here, but currently or any time, every 10 years, whenever the civilian governments were allowed in Pakistan from the hands of the dictators, Pakistan, though it's a small democracy, it should be, being small, it should be better managed than India. India is a massive country with the highest population in the world, but still the management is far better. And what in Pakistan goes, everybody knows when the civilian government goes very high corrupt. What happens? Poor people are general and normal in Pakistan, but the rulers are they stow their money in Switzerland. All the banks of Switzerland, and the this migration aspect. They claim very much about thing, but even to this day, I will tell whether it is Munir or Abbasi, you hold a public plebiscite, half the Bangladesh is always entering, trying to enter India. Half of them there, and those who have reached Calcutta, they vote Mamta. This is what happens. Even to this day, if they hold a plebiscite, Jinnah didn't know that his own people would prefer to be ruled by us rather than his own people. That was the genesis. That's why you find always when we construct a border on the Bangladesh-India border, Bangladesh will object. And the very creation of Bangladesh is an obligation by Indira Gandhi. They were under such a suppression, nobody in the world, the rest of the world would know. It was only when Kosygin on way to Vietnam made a special stopover, spoke to Indira Gandhi for 4 hours and gave a go ahead, do whatever you want. Then she liberated Bangladesh from West Pakistan, the so-called West Pakistan or main Pakistan. Otherwise, whenever there was a war between India and Pakistan, both the sides they had the advantage of coming by air from east as well as west. After Kosygin's assurance of that the liberation, what happened? Tricky Dick Nixon and his colleague Kissinger both were angry and directed the Sixth Fleet against India. But India, neither Indira Gandhi cared or nobody, none of us cared. The approaching, was ignored, and nothing happened with the Sixth Fleet being directed towards India. So that was the state of affairs then. And now the latest, what is happening everywhere, not only here. There are some principles here in this Obama's disturbance of fingering Assad hole. It was very bad, and the aspects, the results were borne by Europe, not by America. His, he has the same itch as that is the same, creating democracy everywhere, where the latest findings in political science is democracy and Islam are not compatible. In spite of that, asking Assad and Syria to go the democratic way is only creating a massive disturbance. The kind of way only after 2 months, Second World War, atomic bombing. This is the second aspect that is being that created such a level disturbance, which the kind of disturbance, human disturbance, was seen only by Obama's attacking Syria and the refugees dumping onto all the European nations, and latest this our Robinson asking for Muslims to go away from, specifically asking religion, he is naming the religion, not the people or anything, like what we call in India secular, etc. Simply, his direct, simply he stated Muslims should quit Britain, specifically naming the community. And then I searched where can they go. I looked for the Greece had there was a vacancy in Greece, but latest I find even Latvia, Greece, everywhere it is houseful. Nobody can take any refugees. Germany has taken maximum, and there is such a big disturbance. And Germany contend because Germany, after being defeated in the Second World War, was open to anybody, and the extent is such that Berlin has more mosques than any Muslim country. Once you allow them, this is the level they go. Pakistan again, when the corruption levels go very high, one of their military aspect people will take over. All these people will be taken to some unknown destination. This is what happened many times previously. Yeah, once Ayub Khan took over, then later on Yahya Khan took over. These things happen, and when they get tired, then only leave back to democracy. Once they made an announcement that Benazir Bhutto is coming. 36 people were killed. The mere announcement was sufficient. Such a violence took place. This, and economics aspect, my professor in electrical engineering, Dr. P.V. Ratnam, he told us about this economic stability for everything. Previous, the then USSR, Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, and USA, they were always in competition with respect to science or economics, anything. And the kind First World War took place, the moment Prince of Bismarck was killed, immediately two sides took place, and the First World War started. Second World War took some time to group formation, but seeing those incidents, USA and USSR agreed no unintentional accident should not be taken for any intentional things, and they should not break into a war. These were the agreements. Similarly, for economics also, they used to apply. They applied. Incidentally, this P.V. Ratnam professor is a was at Moscow Power Institute. He did his PhD from there, and he told about this applying control system theory to economics. There they apply the feedback control system. A positive feedback is relates to very destabilizing oscillations. There, from there, where you get the Colpitts oscillator, make many kinds of oscillators. But if you give a negative feedback, it stabilizes the system. This applying all these principles, they were very sure that this 1940s kind of recession will never take place again in the history of economics. The application of all other branches of disciplines was so high and so perfect. The way they do the spacecraft, zero error, highest efficiency, all this, the same things are applied here, economics wise. The 1940s like recession would never come. That was the care they had taken. But in the same way, if we do things which were not taken into those conditions, the kind Mr. Trump took a decision for visa highs for $1 lakh, or this kind were not to be taken, because it is called a major impulse, is impact or impulse disturbance. Whether this was taken into consideration, these are very dangerous. And here, this is where it reminds me, in the American hierarchy of presidents, there was one president. Now, name was Calvin Coolidge. By incidents, became a president. All he did was, irrespective of the competence, he used to give different secretaryship to all his friends. One friend would become Secretary of State, Secretary of Defense, all his friends, and they didn't have the competence, and the whole system was about to fall. Somehow they rectified him and they eased him out. And if what I am telling Mr. Amartya Sen, আপনি একবার একে বলবেন যে এর মতো করলে চলবে না, বিকজ ওনার একটা স্টেটমেন্ট থেকে অনেক লোকের জীবন ডিস্টার্ব হয়। You are a Nobel laureate. When Nobel laureates tell, he might listen to, and what he does in spontaneity, he does, and later on, he very easily speaks, says sorry very fast. But the disturbance is so powerful, he doesn't know the impact of the disturbance he creates. Once or twice it was, if it goes on, the time that kind of they took care about Calvin Coolidge. The similar should be taken, or he should any major things. Any committee or his advisor should only after his really advisors advise him, he should act. This care should be taken. Otherwise, the stability aspect is very dangerous, and this is worse than a nuclear war, third world war, which is everybody is expecting. This destabilization and the whole world economic system order will go to dogs if these guys such kind of tantrums go on. So my request to these economics big shots, economic Nobel laureates give statements. These statements do have effect. Not from me, unknown guys, but those who are well known in this sector, they have their power. Their statements carry power, and that will correct people from doing fanatic things.